Alright everyone, let's welcome to this week weekly market update. It's a late one today. For this week itself, kind of like busy. So let's see what is happening on last week and things to watch out for the coming week as well. So as you can see, the S&P 500 closed at record raised for a 4th straight week of strong tech earnings. I believe, let's say you are following the market, you should know what's happening to the technology side, especially after the earnings report like Meta, the popular shares that actually popped 20% upside, and they are going to do dividend payout and also shares buyback. As you can see, this is a huge bullish for Meta shares itself on last Friday, causing Nasdaq to break another high, perhaps all the three indices to go even higher. All right, because of this, right, we know that last week Friday is also a non-farm payroll day. On the non-farm payroll, as you can see, the economy at 353,000 jobs in January, way above what the economists predicted of 185,000. To be frank, this show the US side is strong enough, yes, but it also show an sign that it will sour the interest rate cut, because the Fed is actually based on the economy data itself, right? That is why on last Friday itself, I'm trying to do an intraday shorting itself. As you can see from my Telegram group, I said that due to non-farm payroll up 353,000, tonight may be the start of the pullback for US indices. Yes, this is intraday trading, and yes, in fact, I got stop out and I lose a couple of hundred because I got stop out at 38,600, whereby it goes at highs at 38,700 plus or 800 plus. We can see from the chart itself. So a stop loss actually saved me from some point over here. I entered the market close back at 38,654 on last Friday, 50 point away from my stop loss, but no regret because I'm actually betting on during the non-farm payroll tradings on that actual day itself. However, on the long-term basis, as you can see from the weekly basis charting, we can see that we only take actions after it break below 38,000 for the shorting signal. All right, so this 38,000 still stands still. We need the encurving candle, the bearish encurving candle to encurve and break below 38,000. Then we may see a slightly bearish or a pullback signal come in, and then we can do a more safe side to short by then. All right, so intraday shorting, there is always risk. Otherwise, right now market is still continue bullish. We will be target at 39,129, or even going for the round figure of 40,000. It's still possible at current market because there's still earnings coming up. All right, there's still earnings coming up. Okay, so next week, just to take note, I think it's CPI data, and also there is still earnings report going on. So this is what happened on Meta shares itself, 20% on soaring profit, better than expected guidance, which I just mentioned. All right, so this causes the market to go wow on the bullish side. And then on the Q4 earnings, right? Yes, 4th quarter earnings are shaping up to the best of 2023. So mostly, we are half of the earnings season, as you can see from here. Profit are clearly come in far better than anybody expected. But not to forget that expectation is based on the economy the analysts predicted, right? I mean, they can forecast or expect a lower earnings, and then once the earnings come in way higher, the market thought that is way positive. So there is also way to manipulate it after all. But go to individual stocks, you have to see how well does it perform. Meta surprisingly doing way better. All right, there is no wrong, clear cut. That's why it go way higher. Okay, so that is what on last week and last Friday itself. All right, so without further ado, let's go directly to the chart. I'm kind of like want to cut short to let you know guys know what is the update we will do. So on Dow Jones wise, we still remain the view still the same. So we will just put that on 4th Feb 2024. Resistance can be 39k to 40k before we may see pullback. All right, otherwise break below 38k, watch out for shorting signal. Okay, so our view still remain the same. That will be my view for Dow Jones. So for S&P 500, as you can see, right, which I written in my Facebook, which I post, I say that S&P target the round figure of 5k else immediate resistance around 4,960, 78% Fibo resistance level. Okay, clear cut. Let's zoom in. Can you see that? Market close at 49,058. 2 point away from my 78% Fibo using the Fibonacci extension. All right, so round figure is 5K. I think all the market, everyone is eyeing on it. Whether will S&P record breaking of 5,000? Of course, once it break the record of 5,000, do watch out and monitor closely. All right, so 4th Feb 2024, watch carefully and don't carefully, watch closely. All right, watch closely once it break 5K. All right, watch closely once it break 5K. So this is a very important thing. Watch closely on S&P 500. All right, so next thing we'll be looking at Tesla, which we actually assess. So from my Facebook page, you can see revisit the bearish buyers mentioned weeks ago. Let's reassess. So this is what I mentioned on 28 Jan. Tesla may see downside with 175 as support level. So 175 is here. This is a weekly chart. Go to the day chart itself. You can see that the number for the last 5 days has been hovering around 180, the round figure. Right now, it actually touched 175. Most likely possible. If let's say there's just a slight pullback in Nasdaq, why not for Tesla? Of course, Tesla is beautiful. I mean, we can buy it during the pullback. Right now, it's below 200 days moving average. Watch for a good price to do dollar averaging. For future growth or long-term investment, you can do that. All right. So I just want to do a highlight for Feb 2024. May break below 175 if slight pull back in Nasdaq. All right, so plan for long-term play on dollar averaging. All right. Okay, so this is all dollar cost averaging. Okay. All right, so this is why I believe, well, 175, we can't say that it hit 175, there will be a reverse back, but we need to see some signal before it will reverse. But 175 most likely will be the first immediate support for Tesla itself. Okay, so let me just save it, and then I will go into the next one that we will be following. US oil, yes, let's see how is US oil performing. Wow, okay, last week, a good week before, but there's an engulfing right now touching 200-day moving average, kind of like dangerous if let's say there is no sign of the pullback by next week itself. Break below 200-day, we are back to the resistance again. Okay, so for Fed 24, watch out if no pullback or well supported by 200 days moving average. Okay, so this is my take for oil itself. Okay, next thing we will be talking about Hang Seng Index. For Hang Seng Index, I've been looking at Hang Seng Index, Chinese economy fall to 38.2% once this October, as you can see. All right, so it has been breaking lower and lower, break below 70,000. Right now it's at 15,000. Okay, to be frank, let's look at the monthly for Hang Seng Index. All right, it's very worse off because I read the news is go to 1997, the price of tip top. That is when Hong Kong, exit from British, if I'm not wrong. That is way back historical. All right, so you can go and read up. Right now the price is below that, kind of like bearish at the moment, unless Chinese government really step in. I know there's a lot of news that Chinese government have already start stepping in, but they're not showing in. But they start to cut off like the bank borrowing amount, which they can borrow more to people who want. All right, I think they cut this repo rate. You can go and Google. That means bank is allowed to lend more money. They don't have to keep more reserve in their bank to protect. So once they increase that one, that rate, people they can keep using the bank can keep using the money to simulate the whole economy itself. It's good, but it's not the right time to enter. Perhaps until more signal. Okay, so yes, for people who want to long it, play contrarian, 40,600 will be the first support level. All right, will be the first support level for Hang Seng Index. So just right. All right, for Feb. All right, just write a quick note. Okay, vice versa. Another one which we will be talking about last week is actually Ping An. Just going to Ping An itself. So this is what happening to Ping An. Yes. Okay. Right. So this is Ping An. Last week good. This week. Okay. This is the candle. We will see the following up. Following. If let's say the week next week be able to go above here, is a good sign. All right, if next week candle able to go above this candle is a good sign. All right, with a good support level at this price, which is $33. All right, so that is Ping An. So I will write here next for Fed. Immediate support. All right, so okay, so let's go into one last counter. I'm looking at Palantir. All right, so Palantir wise, right? Yes, this is a tricky counter to be frank. By long term wise, I think it's kind of like data center. It's good, going to do good. So my view for long term wise, if Palantir able to go above $70, will be a good sign for long term investment. All right, so you can do dollar cost averaging as well for Palantir. But of course, if you drop back below $10, which is the worst off, I think it might take even longer time for it to climb up. Otherwise, uh, we shall see $17. I'm not putting anything. I'm not writing. Right now it's in my watch list. Okay, so what I will do is that 14 Feb 2024 in watch list to monitor for long-term investment. Okay, so this is what I'll be watching. Okay, so next thing we'll be going to Disney. Let's just recap how does it work. Oh, Disney is showing a very good sign. Dollars call averaging. Remember, I told you guys to just slowly accumulate. Showing upside $100 as resistance. So now it's 97. I think it's very close to $100 soon. All right, so good sign for this one. If let's say you have not accumulated, it's still a good stocks to slowly limber. And then next is actually Boeing. Boeing has dropped badly due to some news. For people who believe in them, right? Uh, this is what I mentioned. All right, it actually dropped to $200. So it's well supported at $200. If you want, you can limber a bit. And then the immediate support is at 181. All right, 181, 23.6% support. But for long-term perspective, if you believe in Boeing, you can actually do accumulate for DCA as well. All right, so that's all for this week Weekly Market Update. Nothing much for me to go follow up unless there is big news coming up. So do careful. Next week economy data, CPI, and also earnings report is coming up as well. All right, so that's all for this week Weekly Market Update. Sorry for the rush. Try to complete it as short as possible to keep it sharp and to the point. All right, goodbye, and I see you guys next week.